Hey guys, it's Kai, and Trisha Paytas is transphobic.
Why are you such a copycat?
The tea is hot. Sorry, I'm really not trying to be super goofy in this video. I'm also filming this like pretty late at night, so I'm gonna like try and speed through this. I have been debating on whether or not I wanted to talk about this for a couple days now. Because when Trisha Paytas first released her I'm Trans video, I was just so angry, and I watched it a couple times and took notes and was exhausted just by watching through it and being that angry, and I haven't looked at it since. And I know a lot of my closest friends like love Trisha Paytas, and I knew that was gonna be a thing, but I just like, she fucked up so bad. My heart is kind of racing right now because I don't make videos like this. Okay, let me just start off and say real quick, I am not a commentary channel, I am not a reaction channel, anything like that. Like, I don't critique people on my channel, like, ever. The most I'll do is like sometimes I'll make a joke. This is actually something that I know a lot about because my old best friend was trans, and so I learned a lot of things through that because I was there through their whole like beginning process of like discovering that about themselves and finally like getting to like accept that and everything else and coming out to people. And so just like to begin with, I'm not trans, but I have seen firsthand a lot of the things that trans people deal with. Now, I can't be the voice of the trans community. The voice of the trans community has to be someone in the community. Like, I can't just like speak for them. However, I am a part of the LGBTQIA plus community, and as such, and with my experiences and everything else, I was sort of overtaken by anger at Trisha Paytas' most recent video, and I feel like I have kind of a responsibility to speak out about it because I am part of the community, and I didn't really see like anybody talking about it except for like a few outraged people on Twitter, and I just feel like it needs to be talked about. My glasses are very dirty, wow. So forgive me if there are some points that I kind of mess up in this video or don't know a lot about. Please feel free to comment your opinions down in the comment section down below because I would love to hear them, especially if you are part of the trans community. I would love to hear it. So mostly I'm going to be reading some of the comments that were on the video, and I'm also going to be talking about my own thoughts because I did take some notes. I should have pulled this up ahead of time. I thought it was fitting though because this is a series that I started off on my channel because I wanted to start a podcast a long time ago, and I decided to name it Coffee Chats with Coffee Cat, which is subsequently the name of my podcast. Go check it out if you have not listened to it. This is a terrible video to plug myself on, but if you want to go listen to a podcast, it's Coffee Chats with Coffee Cat, the same as in the title of this video. Apparently she put out a video apologizing. So the video that Trisha uploaded is called I Am Transgender Female to Male. The way I first heard about this was I actually saw it on Twitter. Somebody posted a clip like out of context of her saying,
so do I think I'm transgender? Yes, 1000%. Do I identify with my natural born gender? 1000%. So
I was like, that's not okay, what? And so I decided to watch the video. We're just gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the way through.
Today I am going to be doing a video that people might think is I'm trying to be offensive or I'm setting back like a movement or something like that, but I want to talk about this because it's something that I've actually have felt for a long time. I did a video like maybe it was right before I started dating Jason. It was like in January of like 2018. I did a video, and I don't know if it's still up, I think it is, where I wanted to be referred to only as T.
Okay, real quick, I have not seen the video she's talking about. I probably could have gone ahead of time and looked at the video, but again, I've been going back and forth on whether I was actually gonna film this in the first place, so I have not seen it. Hating your name doesn't automatically mean that you're trans. I go by Kai. My birth name is Amber, in case you didn't know, and I just hated it from the time I was literally a kid. Like, I have memories of yelling at my mom when I was like 5 years old, like, why would you name me such a stupid name? Like, I hate it. Am I trans? No.
I didn't feel like I identified as a girl. Now, this seems like crazy and weird and shocking because I was...
Okay, and that was where she got me. I didn't feel like I was a girl, which is crazy and weird and whatever. I mean, maybe I'm looking too much into this, but that read to me as I think I'm trans, which is crazy and weird, but whatever. Honey, no, you can't just call it crazy and weird right off the bat. That's not okay. But again, to begin with, I was like, maybe I'm reading too much into this. I have notes. I'm
ultra girly now. I'm very girly, right? Because when I was younger, I was teased a lot because they said I looked like a boy. I had a boy haircut. I had, you know, just stuff I couldn't even control, like just hair on my lip, hair on my face. So people would call me like a man. Like there was one nickname, and it's not even funny. It's not even weird. It's not even like clever. They'd be like, Trisha the Man Paytas. Like I swear that it sounds like I made that up like it's freaking weird. I didn't really get it then. I don't get it now, but they would just be like that I was like a man, and I didn't get it.
Okay, next point of contention. You aren't trans because people made fun of you for looking masculine as a kid. Like, that's not a thing. It's not like people are like, oh, you have short hair, you must be a boy, and then you grow up and you're like, oh shit, you're right. Like, that's not how that works. Like, sure, for some trans people, maybe they did cut their hair off when they were kids, and they were like, yes, like, this makes me feel more comfortable, and sure, maybe that coincidentally happened. You are using this as evidence. Like, oh, I never really felt like a girl because the kids at school called me Trisha the Man Paytas. That's literally not what being trans means, but go off. Actually, don't, please don't. You have too big of an audience for this.
To overcompensate for that when I got older, like when I was like 18 and I could start like, you know, like spending money on my hair and like all that stuff like that. And I used to always wear a sports bra because my natural breasts were very like, one was uneven, like they were hella uneven, and one was really saggy and one was kind of up. So I always wore like sports bras to like flatten my chest. And I never liked the attention.
Okay. Oh, this makes me so mad. This makes me so mad. And it might seem like such a small point, but the thing is she's trying to justify like, oh, I'm trans because I used to wear a sports bra to bind my chest. But the reason isn't, oh, like I never wanted like a big chest. Like I just wanted to be flat. They give me dysmorphia, whatever. Not that you have to have like dysmorphia? I always get the two mixed up. I have one, dysmorphia, I think. Dysphoria is the other one, like gender dysphoria. From what I understand, you don't have to have dysphoria to be trans, but a lot of the time you do. And the reason why people bind is because usually they have dysphoria about their chest, and it's usually female to male transitioning or female to masculine, whatever. It is so disrespectful to trans people who have grown up hating their chests to the point of wanting to die, to the point of cutting them off and binding to the point that they injured themselves with too many sports bras and ace bandages, which are super bad for you. Please, if you were trans and if you were binding, please don't use ace bandages. Look it up. There are other ways to do it that are safer for you. You can really hurt yourself. It's not worth it. But Trisha, you were so fucking disrespectful to that fucking struggle by saying, oh, I wore sports bras instead of regular bras because one boob was bigger than the other boob, and so I just wanted to contain them into one. And also, I didn't like the attention. The next thing she's gonna say, you're literally gonna want to throw up, because I know I do.
Around middle school is when I started like getting breasts, and I started getting like attention from like older guys, like not even high schoolers, but like just grown-ass men, and I didn't like that at the time, which is very weird, I know, because now I'm very hypersexual. I'm very much about boobs and like showing them off. And
so you're trans because you didn't want creepy old men staring at your middle school tits? I don't understand. Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. No middle schooler wants creepy old men staring at their fucking tits. Like, it doesn't matter what gender you are. Like, you don't want to be objectified by creepy old men when you're in middle school. Okay, that's not okay. That's not normal to feel the other way. Like, you're just saying like a common experience that people with tits have. Like, genuinely? I'm trying to contain my anger because, again, it is late at night. I'm trying to get through this, but that was one of the parts that really fucked me up, especially on the second viewing.
People always think like there's something wrong with me because I don't have like that many girlfriends. Like, I love girls. Like, I do love girls, and I love like their sensitivity and all that stuff like that. But that's why I identify more as like a gay man, because I like guys, but I also identify as a guy. If that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense. You're trans because you have more guy friends than girlfriends, because you think girls are pretty. That's just called being bi, is liking girls. Having more guy friends than girlfriends doesn't mean shit. Gender identity is different from sexuality, and more than that, the friends that you make have absolutely nothing to do with your gender identity or your sexual identity. That means nothing. You're not trans just because you have guy friends and you used to like wear a binder because your boobs were different sizes. This is fucking ridiculous and insulting to the whole fucking community, and the fact that this is on the internet and there are people still standing her.
The thing that kind of like stops it is I do love, which a lot of gay men do too, I do love like glam and voluptuousness. So in my head, I feel like I'm a transgender female to male, but also like a drag queen. That's kind of how I've like rationalized it in my head.
Rationalized is a good word for it. You're doing a great job rationalizing it to yourself, but not to the rest of the world, because this is insulting.
I don't like to be center of attention except when I want to be center of attention. So like, okay, think of like a drag queen, right? They do like their full glam and everything, but in their day-to-day, they're not. They're very like low-key, whatever.
That's literally just called being a person, especially a feminine person. It's okay to want to do makeup and outfits and hair and sometimes like things like that. Like I'm like that sometimes. Sometimes I want to do a full face and break out the whole show, and most of the time I look like this. That's not called being a drag queen.
On this channel or my second channel or just in life, I never wear hair or makeup like in my day-to-day. I usually look crazy. Like watch my second channel, I look insane. Like as far as like girliness goes, like I just never wear makeup. Like oh my god, if I have like zits on my face, like they just like let them go. Like
what a man, because you just like leave your zits.
Always just been attracted to guys, but not straight guys. I've always been attracted to gay guys.
Okay. Holy shit. Just because you're attracted to gay guys does not mean that you yourself are a guy. All that means is that you like femininity. You clearly were just talking about liking the glitz and the glamour when you want it. Okay, so you like femininity. You like things associated with that. You like girls. You like how they look. You like guys, usually gay guys. Maybe you're just a lesbian. I don't know. Once again though, sexuality has nothing to do with gender. Being attracted to gay guys, first of all, is a really weird coincidence, kind of creepy. You just like femininity probably. Has nothing to do with their sexuality. There are masculine gay people, there are feminine gay people. It literally, this makes absolutely no fucking sense. And just because you're attracted to other people who happen to be attracted to guys does not make you suddenly a guy. Okay, so like a straight man being attracted to lesbians because he's creepily fetishized it in his head, because that often seems to happen, does that suddenly mean he's a woman? No, it does not. So why does it mean that you're a gay man? This is absolutely absurd. This is literally just grabbing for views and I'm fucking fuming. Like, why is she still allowed on the fucking internet? It's been a long time since I've gotten this angry about something on the internet. Usually I just like, you know, I might get a little bit mad, like, hey, this is fucked up. Usually I'm not like riled up, but this just like, that person and I aren't friends anymore. However, I still saw a bunch of the shit that they went through. I've still seen a bunch of the shit that a lot of the other people in the trans community went through. It's not something to be made light of and to just use for views and fucking clicks because you feel like, I'm attracted to gay men, so I must be a man. Like, so is Morgan Adams a gay man? That's kind of a joke, yeah, but like, you make no goddamn sense, and go fuck yourself. That was aggressive. Will I upload this realistically?
And then when it comes to girls, like I admire girls' beauty so much, and I just like think girls are so beautiful to
Me
like,
too.
look at.
I'm bi, that's why.
But and like straight guys like kind of turn me off. It's very weird. Like I hate like over masculine energy.
Again, that just means you like feminine energy, feminine people, not masculine. That's okay. That does not mean that you're gay because you don't really like over masculine, strong, straight guys.
And then the final thing that kind of brings it full, I feel transgender almost, is I've always had penis envy.
Okay, first of all, when you hear penis envy, that term, I'd say demonetized, but this was never gonna be monetized, so I think I'm fine. When you hear the term penis envy, what do you think of? Just take a quick second here, a quick sip of coffee. Got your answer? I guarantee you it won't be what she's about to say.
This sounds so crazy to say out loud, but like I've just always thought my life would be easier if I had that part. That if I asserted myself, I wouldn't be a bitch, but I would be like a man. I think of myself as being assertive, and I think of myself as masculine energy, but because I'm a female and I was born with female parts, people think, oh, she's a bitch.
No, honey, absolutely not. No, what that's called is wanting equality, not being trans. Just because you're sick of being belittled because you're a woman and called a bitch instead of like assertive. Guess what, honey? That's something that we have all felt. I feel that in almost every single day of my fucking life. Am I trans because of that? No, that's not called being trans. That's being aware of the fucking divisive inequality that exists in our fucking country. This is the most ignorant and disrespectful piece of shit video I have ever watched in my entire fucking life.
The whole transgender community has always like called to me for some reason, and I never knew why. I don't go out and advocate for it, although I would be so down, and I love, obviously I love the transgender community. So like I should be the advocate for it. But what was always stopping me was like, I always thought, oh my gosh, am I trans?
Hi friends, next day here. Something I meant to add in there and I just like was too all over the place to even think to say. You're probably going to see me pop in a couple more times after this because this is when I started just my brain was breaking and my head hurt and I was just like, I'm done. First of all, pay attention to how much lower her voice gets every time she says the word trans or transgender. Like right there she goes, obviously I love the transgender community. She sort of like runs it together almost like her body doesn't even want to say the word. Like she's not like inviting this into her and being like, yes, like this is my identity. She's being like the transgender community. Also, like I cut out the pauses because she paused for like 10 years, like every other word in this little like section and a lot throughout the video, but especially right here. And just the fact that it took her 10 years to be like the transgender community. Obviously I love the transgender community. Like, why did that take you so long to formulate in your brain? Like, why couldn't you have just said that like a normal person? Like, if this video were thought through at all, like, I feel like she just sat down in front of a camera and started BSing and being like, look guys, like, hee, like, look at this, like, little name tag I just put on. Also, obviously, I should be the advocate for it. Why? Like, if you are just now coming to realize, like, oh, maybe, like, my gender isn't what I was born with, even though you literally contradict that later and you're saying 1000% that you identify with that, but then 1000% you don't and would never. And beside the trash of this video is, even like if this video were like a good like coming out video and like she were actually serious and not just BSing and using it like a novelty token, like look what I am guys, aren't I cool yet? Like even if it were like a serious video, you just coming to terms with it, why would that make you the advocate for it? Why are you better than the other people who have grown up years and years of their life and like educating themselves on it? You're clearly not even educated on the terminology. How would you be the advocate for it? Why is this, obviously I should be an advocate for it? Like why you? I mean, this video is just a view and click grab anyway, but like even if it weren't, why you? This video's trash and
like I know I've like trolled and stuff in the past, and so I don't want people to think this is like a trolling video. I've known like I've like come out as like gay before, I've come out as bisexual before.
Just the fact that she just admitted that she's trolled in the past by coming out as bi and gay, I don't think that's something I actually caught beforehand. I heard her say I've come out as gay and bi, and I've heard I've trolled in the past. I didn't put the two thoughts together when they clearly were supposed to be. You have trolled people by coming out as gay and bisexual? In what world is that okay? It's not. What the fuckity? Like honestly? How does anyone stand this woman?
I don't know if I would say I'm confused. I would say I'm all of it. And
just the fact that you just said you're all of it means you're confused. Okay, let me walk you through it. Lesbian means you're only attracted to female or feminine presenting people. Gay is the opposite, which means you're only attracted to men or masculine presenting people. Bi means you're attracted to two or more genders. T obviously means trans. I is actually intersex, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it's intersex. And before that is a Q, which just means queer, which is kind of a general, just like, I'm a gay person. I'm a big question mark. You could have just said I'm queer. Although if you've only been trolling in the past, then maybe you can't say queer because people who aren't in the community aren't allowed to say that word because it used to be used as a slur. So after that is asexual. So you can't be asexual because you're hypersexual. So do you know how many labels there are? You can't just be all of it. There are so many labels because they're all so fucking different. Like the sheer amount of ignorance, like I get, like this, she says it's not a trolling video. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. It feels like she is either, and vote in the comment section down below which one you think it is. A, just wanting to hop on the trend and be like, look guys, I'm trans, think I'm cool now, like stop making me irrelevant, because I feel like people just don't talk about her anymore except for the whole Nikocado avocado thing. I didn't even know who he was until that scandal happened and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Or B, do you think this is yet another trolling video? Just like, oh guys, look, like hee, I'm so funny and quirky. I make fun of the struggles of people who actually kill themselves over this. This is so fun. Fuck a cactus, Trisha.
that's why I don't like labels in general. Like
You literally titled this with a label. You literally titled this, I'm transgender, female to male. That's a label, sweetie. If you want to identify with the LGBTQIA+ community, that's a label, sweetie.
and people are like, well, they're gay because they date guys more than girls, or they're gay or they're straight. Like, I don't like that you have to be one or the other and you have to like,
because you don't. That was a super biphobic comment, by the way. Whether that was your thought or you were referencing someone else's thought, you didn't make that clear. Either way, that's super bi-fucking-phobic, okay? You don't have to be one or the other. That's the reason why there's bi and pan and a whole bunch of other shit in there. Again, the reason for the labels. The labels don't mean you can only be this or you can only be that. Like, and once again, I fucking say, sexuality has nothing to do with gender.
even with transgendered people, like I've always been fascinated.
Just let that word sink in. Sometimes it may seem like I'm nitpicking on certain words and certain language things that she uses to like try and convey words, and I know that sometimes that's not like totally accurate, but as someone who was like a creative writing and journalism major in college, spent a lot of my time studying words and how people convey feelings and emotions and thoughts, and like crafting that skill over I don't even know how many years at this point, 10 plus years. The thoughts that you say subconsciously are the ones that you really mean. And if you're saying, I was fascinated by the trans community, okay, usually that will convey a feeling of zoo animals. I was fascinated by all the zebras in front of me and I just wanted to go look at them and play with them and be like, I'm a zebra too, but I'm not a zebra, I'm a human.
When I was watching this earlier, my girlfriend like literally lost her mind at like fascinated. I was like, oh my god, Sierra, are you fascinated by trans people? Like, I'm Trisha, I'm so fascinated by trans people that I'm gonna become one.
But you get the idea. Just like when you're watching this, pay attention to her subconscious language. The amount of times after this, I don't even know when it's gonna start. Oh my god, we're not even halfway through the video. Yikes. The amount of times she's gonna say choose and choice in this video is absurd, and I'd say take a drink every time, but that's how you die of alcohol poisoning.
I feel transgender almost, don't necessarily transition at all, but just choose to identify as a different gender. I just choose to identify as a boy. I don't think you have to necessarily choose one gender. Let's say I wanted to be male to female, right? You can be any gender you want to be. Whether that's me as a bisexual woman, me as a gay man, me as an ally, me as a transgender, I want to be a part of it. You can be any gender you choose on any given day. The day that I chose to be a male,
Choose to identify as a different gender. Just nobody is choosing to be transgender. Nobody is choosing to identify that way. It's literally just something rooted in your brain and in your biology. It's your choice as to whether you act on it in transition or not. Further proving my point that Trisha has no concept of the trans community or anything that goes along in it.
Being trans is not a fucking choice. There are people who kill themselves over this fucking bullshit, and you're sitting here acting like it's a fucking Snapchat filter to put up and be like, look, isn't this fun? I'm a koala now. It's not cute, it's not funny, it's not original, it's not something just like to add on your Twitter bio.
and I think I'm more of I just choose to identify as a boy. And I don't, and I know this is where it's gonna get a little scandalous, I don't love pronouns like they and them, because that's super confusing, I think. I know Sam Smith recently is like, I'm a they or something.
I'm a they.
That sounds like plural people. And while people think I'm schizophrenic and have multiple personalities, like I choose not to identify as multiple personalities. So
one of the people who were in my DMs was saying something about this actual specific section. First of all, they is actually approved to the point it literally just got added to the fucking dictionary. Are you gonna tell the fucking dictionary that it's wrong? And like also people use it all the fucking time. Like when somebody leaves their wallet at the bar, like, oh, someone left their wallet at the bar. Like, let them know they left their wallet at the bar. Do you think we're talking about 3 people owning the same fucking wallet? No, it's one person. On top of that, the fact that she just called it multiple personalities and schizophrenic, like that's just a joke. To be like, oh, like hee, I'm gonna make fun of mental illnesses, don't think I'm schizophrenic. Like that's crazy. How ignorant are you? Holy fuck, do you know what fucking year it is? That's not okay. Holy shit, I'm getting really red because I'm like that upset. Yikes.
the problem with identifying as a gay man when you have female body parts is that you're not going to be able to fully satisfy yourself by being with a gay man. No, nor am I going to be able to satisfy a partner, like a gay man partner.
That's a transphobic statement as well, and I'm not going to get into it because there are a lot of other trans creators who you can go ahead and check out on YouTube. If I can remember, I'll go ahead and try and link some in the description down below. Otherwise, there are literally so many on the platform that you can go and listen to hear them talk about things like this. But that's shitty as fuck. Just to be like, oh, you can never just fully satisfy someone without having the right parts. That also invalidates just like gay people in general. Like
with dating, it's very difficult. Let's say you fully transition, right? I'm just gonna use like a very broad, generic transgender person, like male to female, and you have that full transformation. You have breasts and you have a vagina and you have all of that, and you tell a guy like, hey, I was born a male, like guys will be pissed, straight guys, gay guys, whatever. And same like in my terms, like let's say I want to be male to female, right? Or female to male.
First of all, that is true. It is actually a really common thing, and that's why a lot of trans people date other trans people, because they're not scared of the violence that comes along with it, because once again, that's something that you're fucking messing with here. It's not just like all fun and games. Like this is actually something that a lot of people, and I'm not trying to make this like paint this in like a super like trans people have it like super crazy hard and like their lives are super terrifying, but also there are a lot of dangers with it. There are a lot of people out there who are just not cool with it, and there is a lot of trans violence out there. Like people like will literally get killed because they're trans. And you're sitting here trivializing it like, if I want to be male to female, I mean, wait, female to male? First of all, you can't even remember which one it is, but that could be a simple slip of the tongue. But if you're trans, you're always just the other gender. It's just like a matter of coming to realize it and then transitioning through. The fact that you keep saying want to and choose and choice, it's not a choice. It's not something that simple. I don't know, like there are a lot of things in here that are super fucking shitty that she says, but like that could boil down to being just like misinformed, okay? And a lot of it is like, no, like it's not just that, like this is really shitty.
Also, she said that she's been fascinated by the trans community for ages, which means that she would have had enough time and enough interest to do enough research to actually know the term. So it can't even boil down to just being ignorant about it, because if she were truly always interested in it, like she's trying to make it seem, she would know more about it and she would know better than to be like, if I choose to do this, like it's so clearly just like an excuse to like get views. And I think after this is about when I just kind of lost it and couldn't really do it anymore. So I talk about some of my points. I'm going to go ahead and insert some clips of some trans YouTubers to sort of emphasize and kind of sum up the things that I was like struggling to say.
Honestly, I don't think I can watch any more of this right now. I'm going to go ahead and read through some of the comments that I screenshotted and my notes that I took, because I'd say I'll link it in the description box down below, but I'm not going to. Apparently she posted an apology.
I never would have said I was transgender before. I never would have said those words because I do have boobs and I do have a vagina, so that of course to most people makes me a woman. It's so hard because I've been through therapy for the past 6 months over this. I've been through talking. I talked about this over and over.
I'm not gonna watch that right now. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because the fact that it still is up, you need to delete this video and you need to honestly and truly like backpedal, because this is not okay. So this feels like you love drag queens and you were like, oh, coincidence, I guess I'm a drag queen now. It feels like she was like listening to a trans person's like coming out story and she was like, wait, oh my god, I used to wear sports bras all the time. Oh my god, I didn't like old men sexualizing me when I was in middle school. Oh my god, I used to have short hair. Oh my god, I must be a boy. It's just a feeling. I don't want people confused, but it's not. Yes, non-binary is a thing, but it's not a choice. You keep saying choose, but it's deeper than that. It's not just a feeling.
It actually is reminiscent of a lot of the people I see online making videos tweeting about how they're trans because they don't like the color pink, because they're slightly more masculine, slightly more feminine. Masculinity and femininity are not genders. It's okay to be a masculine woman or a feminine man and not think that means I'm trans.
You're allowed to dress more masculine. If non-binary is you, that's great. But this whole video feels like, wow, suddenly being trans is fun. Being not catty does not make you a man. I feel like the majority of women, at least in my experience, are just normal people. They don't act like Regina George and fucking Mean Girls and try and stab each other in the fucking back all the time. Like, girls are just people. This video is just a bunch of stereotypes thrown into one that she's like, oh my god, look, like this stereotype must mean that I'm this. I don't like labels, but I love using stereotypes to get views. She said she dressed like Zac Efron for a video and suddenly she was like, oh my god, like I feel so free like a man, like this is amazing, I've never felt like this before. But she did a video with Shane literally like ages ago with a wig and in Shane's clothes and acted like a dude all day and had man makeup on and like looked like a masculine man all fucking day. Did you not feel it then? Why was that not liberating? Is it because trans wasn't trendy then? A transgender, even your own motherfucking language dehumanizes the identity you claim to have. Daenerys. No, 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 no. There's fire up here. You cannot be up here. You don't want to transition physically, socially, etc., but just choose to identify as trans, but without the pronouns. Like, she doesn't want to go by like they or them. She didn't even say to say he or him. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I'm done. This video, I started off pretty tipsy, and I ended the video just tired. just tired. I was gonna say I hope you enjoyed this, but honestly, let's be real, nobody enjoyed this video. I just hope you unsubscribe to Trisha Paytas. This behavior, especially repeated, is disrespectful and disgusting and not okay at all. And in general, I believe that canceled culture is a little bit too extreme, but in her case, I feel like honestly at this point, like she just keeps being disgusting and horrible to people and horrible to different identities and super just like disgustingly obtuse, and nothing ever happens. She never learns anything because everybody's like, oh my god, hee hee, like look, she's having another breakdown on her kitchen floor and now she's wearing pink, she's so relatable. This is not okay. Like this can't keep happening. Like come on guys, like holy fucking shit. Imagine some young kid being like, hey, I think I'm questioning my identity, and seeing this bullshit.
A lot of my followers, my younger followers who are maybe struggling with, am I trans, am I not trans, do I have dysphoria, what is this? You know, a lot of them were messaging me saying that they felt really hurt by her video, saying that it was making a mockery out of everything that they go through and the pain and the struggle and the journey.
Imagine being in the shoes of someone who has struggled their whole fucking life to be okay with their fucking gender and fought with their parents who they knew were gonna disown them the second that they actually finally came out, and then seeing this bullshit and seeing this pass as like, look guys, I'm trans now, and you still can't even say it because you know the second that you do, you won't have a place to live anymore. People will turn their backs on you. You won't have your mom or your dad anymore because they're just not okay with it. Like, being trans is not a Halloween costume, Trisha. This is not okay, and you need to delete your video, and you need to take back what the fuck you said, and you need to backpedal, and you need to become a better fucking person before you post another video. I don't care if you were trolling. Trolling can be really fucking hurtful. Get off the internet. Bye.